Hey guys, I'm live yet again. This will be the last day of being live for a while because my son is back from his holiday tomorrow. It's actually late tonight, but I'll only see him tomorrow, which means that I don't get free reign of my internet. And I have to work lives around my son's gaming schedule, which isn't always the best thing. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to jump on, do a Q&A about the three cases that I followed the most closely in the last year, the last few months. And that's Somerwells, Michael Vaughan, and more recently, Dylan Rounds. So I'll be asking for questions. But first of all, I'll give people a chance to come in. I've got a couple of things to share. I've got a news interview to share with Brandi, Neal, and Tyler Vaughan, Michael Vaughan's parents. I believe it's the first time Tyler has spoken out publicly. I might be wrong on that, but it's the first time I've seen him speaking out publicly. So I'll share that shortly. And then I've got a news article about Don Wells to share, which actually is like 4 days old now. So some of you will have seen it, but I just want to share it anyway. And then I'll open up the floor for the Q&A. So that's the plan. Let's see who's in the house, though. Laurie says, I'll be back. I shared this. I hope you're back, Laurie. Good to have you here. Hi, Just Heather from Iverness Scotch Settlement in Ohio, USA. Brilliant. Stay Tiger, hello. Brenda from Colorado. T30 Hell. Hi, Michelle. Your pups in the cornfields. Oh, love your pups in the cornfields. Hope those floppy ears coat with the kernels. Yeah, they do. Sometimes I have to pick them out. I have to pick seeds out of their fur quite often. Got a question, but it will wait. I'll look forward to that question. And Laurie is back from Florida. Coffee bar lady. W. Jackie, hi. Joe, hi. Cecile, Share Bear, Mummy of Hamsters, Magic Lady, TV Cat, Mississippi Girl, Isabel, Grammy, WD, Vicky, loads of people coming in. Sheila, Wee Scottish Moor, caught alive, you did indeed. Scott H, hi Scott. Let's have a look. Millie Dilly, Polsky Dreams. Oh, Paisley Dreams. I always forget my glasses. Paisley Dreams. Grandmother Crone, Irene, Pam Smith, that one, Ginger, Morgan, Heidi, Tina, Spitfire, Heidi, Danielle, Diane, Purple AJ, Miss Pumba, Renee, Joan, Jody, JL, Sharon, Nana, Cheeky. I can't. I struggle when it's got numbers and letters. Cheeky something. Elafade, Amy S. Miss Persevere. Oh, I like that. That's clever. Terry, Gizzy Sue, Lenny, Fat Lady Channel. That's a good name. Mia, Eclectic Bohemian, Jockey, Scarlet, Little Bit, Daisy, and loads of people. True Crime Utah, Cam, loads of people. Mom's more. Oh, loads of people. Pointer Lover, people coming in left, right, and centre now. Gloria, hello everyone. Right, enough of the hellos. Yes, you stumbled upon a live. I set this live. I actually gave a little bit of notice on this one. I gave like 3/4 of an hour notice, which is good for me. I tend to just think I'll go live and then go live 10 minutes later. But I'm still not putting my camera on because while my son's been away, I've let the house turn into a little bit of a tip because we have like this reverse situation going on. You know, like when you were young and your parents went on holiday and left you in charge. That happened to me a few times before I left home. And you don't bother cleaning up or anything. Well, it's been exactly like that in the last week because my son is quite clean and tidy. He's one of those tidy people who likes to keep things in order. And I'm not. So while he's been away, I've just been letting things go to rack and ruin, and I don't care. I'm loving it. So after this live, I think I'd probably better do a cleanup, to be honest. So next time I go live, the house will be neater, and perhaps I'll put my camera on. Anyway, right. Jackie says, I wish my son would go away for a week. Well, it's my son's first grown-up holiday, so, you know, nothing bad seems to have happened. But he's gone with his girlfriend, who's very sensible. She's a very sensible young lady. Oh, the dogs are going mad now. Dogs and cats both going mad. He's going again in the end of August with his friends, with his mates, you know, a lad's holiday. So I imagine that isn't going to be as sensible. You know, a group of lads going on holiday together, going to Turkey. That's going to be messy, I think. So, yeah, I'll probably get like a phone call from the Turkish police or something, you know. Anyway, right. How is he enjoying it? He's enjoying it. He's enjoyed it. I'm sure I'll hear all about it. He's had constant like 30-degree weather all week. He said he's got sunburn. He didn't appreciate what sun was like on a daily basis because we don't get it on a daily basis here. Like we don't see the sun very often. That's why we go into meltdown, literally meltdown, when the temperature gets over 30 degrees C. The UK shuts down. We can't cope with it. So he texted me a few days ago saying that my belly and my back are burning. They're burning. It's like, you didn't think that sun burns? You didn't think? You didn't put sunscreen on or anything like that? You didn't think about that, did you? Yeah, so yeah, Brits abroad. That's a funny thing. Anyway, guys, let's get on with this live. Let's get on with this live. Oh dear. Yeah, so's mine. So's mine. I can say that because my camera isn't on, and you and you just have to believe me. You have to believe me. Yeah. Need to take vitamin D. Yeah, the northern hemisphere, the northern parts of the northern hemisphere. Yeah, we're always short of vitamin D. They did a study, and it was something like 70% of people, like in the UK and more north, are deficient in vitamin D. So I've been deficient in vitamin D before, so I'm careful. I drink soya milk and almond milk, which has got it's fortified with vitamin D, so I think I'm okay, even though I don't go out in the sun. Sun is brutal. It is indeed. I think he's learnt the hard way. No, it isn't. I don't think we have a huge problem with skin cancer. Although Bella, my little Yorkshire Terrier, has skin cancer. So, but in her younger years, she was a sun lover. Whenever the sun was out at all, she would be out in it. Like, I've kept her in because she's 15, she's nearly 16, and because she's got a couple of tumours, I've kept her in when the sun was beating down earlier this week, and she was early last week, she was dying to get out, and I wouldn't let her get out. But she was a sun worshipper, and she's got 2 skin tumours. Dogs tend to get them on the face, like where the skin is thinner. So like round their eyes or round the lips. A lot of them get them on the lips and on the top of the head. And she's got a tumour on the top of her head. It's only a small, tiny one. And then she's got a bigger one. It's growing quickly, growing very quickly now on the side of her head. So yeah, that's to do with the sun. Not that we get it a lot, but whenever we got it, Bella was out in it. You used to have to force her in. You know, like when they say keep dogs in when it's hot. Bella would try her best to escape back into the garden. And look what's happened. Right, skin cancer in dogs. It's one, that tumor on the side of her head. It's grown massively in 3 months. The one on top of her head is growing, but only slowly. So, but skin cancer in dogs, it's not that common. But I guess that's because dogs don't tend to go out in the sun or like the sun. But Bella has booked the trend, and there you go. Thank you so much, Cecile. Milk money. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know it's a shame. She's 15 though, 15 and a half. She'll be 16 in November, and she's not in any pain. They're not painful. They don't bother her whatsoever at all. Oh, 2 different cats had that by their ears. Yeah, cats are the same. Like cats will get skin cancer on their ears because their ears are very exposed to the sun. And cats like sun. You know, cats do like sun, don't they? I've got a 16-year-old cat and a 15-year-old cat. And both of them are fighting fit at the moment. Oh, sorry to hear that. Tested for COVID last night. Should have kept up my vitamin C. Only found out because my taste and smell is gone. Oh, I had COVID last year. Took me months and months and months to recover. My son had it at the same time as me. Actually caught it off him, and he lost his taste and smell for like a month. I didn't lose my taste and smell. I just had a headache and a sore throat. But then it took me forever to recover. I got long COVID. Whereas he had, you know, virtually no symptoms, but his taste and smell. They do. Once they start growing, they do. They grow fast, tumours. Oh, no way. Didn't go outside at all. You still got cancer. Oh. I wonder whether, like, sitting at a window, do you still get UV coming in through a window? I bet you get some. Yeah. All my creatures have lived to a ripe old age. I lost Poppy, my Jack Russell, last June. She was 15. They can treat it. They can treat it with surgery, but because she's such an old girl, it'd probably be more dangerous for her to have surgery to have them removed than it would be just to leave them. Like it's something like 90%. This is just a fact that I got off the internet, but 90% of dogs with skin cancer who have surgery are still alive after a year. But she's nearly 16, right? So she's a ripe old age. So putting her through surgery, I think, is going to be more dangerous than just letting her live her life to the best, the best she can. Because she's not in any pain whatsoever. They don't bother her at all. So I think it's just a case of, keeping her comfy. Keeping her comfy. Oh, allergic to the sun. Oh. Anyway, right. Yes, that's me. That is me, yes. That is definitely me. It's about, that photo's about, how old's that photo now? 2 years old, maybe. Maybe I should change it. I quite like it though. It's like a disapproving stare, isn't it? Yeah, I had just horrible fatigue for months, and I've still got a cough. 14 months later, still got a cough. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's horrible. That's horrible. I lost a great aunt, Peggy, Auntie Peggy. Lost her to COVID. She was 95 though, so she was a ripe old age, very, very ripe old age. How many animals do I have? I've got 4 dogs and 2 cats. I've got Tilly and Cassie, the young ones who go out every day that you all know. I've got Jack, who's 15. He's a poodle. I've got Bella, who's 15 and a half. She's a Yorkshire Terrier. And then I've got 2 cats, Tasha and Baby, who are 16 and 15. So, yeah, they're all oldies. And I used to have a hamster until a few months ago. He also lived to a ripe old age, called King Louis. Thank you so much, CC. Crime syndicates fees are due people pay up. That's funny. Thank you. Oh dear. Yeah, it's hard. You can't get rid. Can't get rid. Yeah, I was vaccinated. I had my second jab, and then a week later, I was diagnosed with COVID. So, yeah. Doesn't stop you, like, vaccination doesn't stop you getting it. It just apparently lets you get it less severe. I don't know. I haven't had a booster, though. I've kind of thought, I don't know whether I need one. Anyway, I am indeed. I prefer animals to people, to be fair. Anyway, right, let's get on with this. So I'm going to start with the interview with Brandi, Neal and Tyler Vaughan. So it's on News Channel 7. And I'm going to share the link to this in the chat. And I'll put a link to this in the description box after the live as well, because I forgot to do it beforehand. It's about 8 minutes long. I'm going to play it through in its completeness. I will stop it a few times for fair use purposes, but I'll let it play for as long as I think I can. It's, yeah, like I said, it's about 8 minutes. Let me know in the chat if there's an echo.
And welcome to the Sunday News at 10. I'm Doug Petcash. Wednesday will mark 1 year since the community of Fruitland's world was shaken when a young boy named Michael Vaughan went missing. Michael, who turned 6 years old last month, has not been seen since. Information on the case has been limited, but police, the public, and the family remain strongly determined to find him. In an interview you'll see only on 7, KTVB reporter Tristan.
Is it echoing? Right. Hold on. I will... I'll stop share. I'll reshare. That usually sorts it out. StreamYard's awful. Absolutely awful. Right, let's try it again. Let me know if it's still echoing.
And KTVB digital reporter Alexandra Duggan spoke with Michael's parents, Brandi, Neal, and Tyler Vaughan. They share what this last year has been like and recount the night Michael went missing.
Nearly a year later...
Is that still echoing? Okay, right. Let's try this.
It was a very quick year and long year at the same time.
And the same question remains. Where is Michael Vaughan?
It can't be a year. It can't be.
Going through every day without him, Michael's parents, Brandi, Neal, and Tyler Vaughan, say is a struggle.
I don't want to get out of bed every day. But we do it. We do it, and we try to keep our stuff together.
Try.
And just get through every day.
To get through the day-to-day, they use hope.
He's coming home.
Hope that Michael will be found.
Strength with law enforcement and our community members and our family. All of us standing strong that none of us are going to stop. Not a single one of us will stop. Michael is going to come home.
Law enforcement continue to tell the public they are working around the clock to find the missing boy.
We haven't stopped. Every day we have unfinished business, and I'll tell you that every day is an anniversary of the disappearance from Michael Vaughan for us.
Michael went missing from his neighborhood on July 27, 2021. Investigators have narrowed down the time frame of his disappearance to between 6:40 to 7 p.m. that night.
Our investigation remains intense and strong.
That night, Brandi worked her shift at the local Albertsons grocery store. Tyler was home with Michael and the kids, along with a daughter nicknamed Buggy.
Went back to change Bug. Michael was playing on his Switch. She was sleeping, so it took a minute for me to rouse her. And then I changed a diaper and ordered pizza. Probably took me, I don't know, 15 minutes maybe.
Okay, so a lot of people have, over the last few months, I think the intensity of dislike towards the family has increased. You know, they haven't received nearly the amount of publicity that the Summer Wells case has. But for those that have been following the case, I think there's quite a split now between those who think that the parents are either involved in some way or have been negligent in some way. And up to now, like I said right at the beginning of this is the first time I've heard Tyler actually speak. It's always Brandi that's been the spokesperson for the family. Let me know if there are interviews with Tyler, but this is certainly the first time I've heard him on a news outlet speaking. But Brandi's always maintained that Tyler was kind of out of Michael's sight for about 15 minutes. And he's told exactly what Brandi's been saying. So I'm pleased that Tyler has come out to speak because, you know, people have rightly said Brandi wasn't there, Brandi was at work, and we're only hearing this secondhand, right? So, yeah, we have been only hearing it secondhand. But now we've heard it from Tyler, then it's interesting. So 15 minutes, Michael was playing on his Switch. So presumably he's quiet. He's concentrating on his Switch. Little girl needs her diaper changing, but she's asleep. When my kids were little, if they needed a diaper change and they were asleep, I was like, I would leave it as long as I could because I never wanted to wake them up. But sometimes, you know, the smell can be a little bit overpowering. So presumably the diaper really did need changing. So he changed the diaper. He ordered pizza. And there was an even complaints from people who think Tyler was negligent that Tyler was ordering pizza and that there was this discrepancy between how Michael ordered pizza, whether he ordered it on the phone or whether he ordered it online. Like, who cares, to be honest? So that was the 15 minutes. So we're now going to hear what happened next. A Switch, it's a game. It's like a handheld game console, a Nintendo Switch. So kids love them. Like my granddaughter's 8, she's got a Switch. So they can hold it in the hands and they play, I don't know, Minecraft, and there's a whole like array of kids' games. And you can also connect it to a TV as well, or a monitor. So you can play, you can have your Switch as your console and then be playing a game like on your TV or on a monitor. So that's what a Switch is. Yeah, it's a game system. So it's a games console, a handheld games console. I know that. Can you actually talk on a Switch? I know you can communicate on a Switch. Animal Crossing. Yeah. Animal Crossing's a big game. Minecraft is another big game. So do I, Scott. I absolutely think this family is innocent. I've always maintained that because of the time. The time frame is very tight. So Tyler has given this 15-minute window when he didn't have eyes on Michael. Michael was quiet. Tyler knew he was playing a game, so he was quiet. And who hasn't ever, you know, when your kid's there, your kid's right there, and you've got things to do around the house, you know, yeah, it can be connected to the internet, yeah. And then there's the 20-minute window that the police clarified in the press interview. If you haven't seen the press interview, I did a live on that the other day. So just check back. It's on this channel. Go and check back. And if you just want to watch the presser without my comments, then I've put a link to that press briefing in the description box of that live, of that video. So that's where you can go and watch that. Okay, so let's carry on with this.
And came back out and went outside to smoke, and Monkey wasn't outside, so I figured he was inside with his brother, wasn't inside.
That's when panic kicked in for Tyler.
I came outside and I looked down the street and I hopped in the car and called Brandi and drove to the splash pad and then all over the neighborhood, walking, running, driving. Like I couldn't tell you where. I mean, I didn't leave the neighborhood, but all up and down.
Frantically, he called.
So again, this is exactly what Michael, what Brandi said, that Michael has escaped before and he went to the splash pad. So it would seem the obvious thing to do to just go and check at the splash pad. The last time he eloped, his grandfather found him at the splash pad, which is literally a 2-minute walk away from their house. It's a very short walk. So Tyler got in the car, drove to the splash pad, and then drove up and down the streets looking for Michael. Started to panic, then he called Brandi. So it's exactly what Brandi said. Now, I have heard, again, this is via Brandi, that Tyler was at the splash pad just after 7, which makes absolute sense from this time frame, right? And then people were saying, well, how come it took them to 7:21 to ring 911? You know, Michael could have been missing 40 minutes. If they're saying, the police are saying that this time window of Michael being missing was between 6:40 and 7, so the 20 minutes between 6:40 and 7, and then they only rang 911 at 7:21, Michael could have been missing 40 minutes. Well, it could have been, but by 7 o'clock, Tyler was out looking for him. So actually, it is a 20-minute window. If Michael went missing at 6:40, if he was last sighted by anyone at 6:40, a neighbour did see him. Yeah, a neighbour did see him. At least one neighbour saw him. I've heard 3 neighbours, but we know at least one saw him. And yes, there are. Yes, there are. There's sex offenders in every neighbourhood. It's horrendous, but yeah. Excuse me. So Tyler was out looking for him at 7 p.m. So even if he'd gone missing at 6:40, he was only missing 20 minutes. He'd gone by 7 because Tyler was at the splash pad. He was driving around the streets looking for him. So After a year, I think it's very, very, very unlikely, to be honest. I'd like to think so. If it's a trafficking situation, then it's possible, but it's just horrendous. Whichever way you think about it, it's just horrendous if you think about it that way. But I personally, after a year, that's right. There's CCTV at the splash pad. That's right. But again, you know, that's Brandi speaking. So 7:01, Tyler is seen on CCTV at the splash pad. So that's Brandi in the comments. Hi, Brandi. Thanks for joining us. You're very welcome. You're very, very welcome. We've got to get the news out, and hopefully Michael is alive. Hopefully he will return home and he'll be okay. But personally, I think after a year, it's really sad. It's the same with Summer. Really sad. Really, really sad. Okay, so let's
Brandi asking her to get home immediately.
I was scared, and she was the first person I thought to call. I needed her home as fast as I could because I was panicked and out of my mind.
Panicked because he has no idea where his best buddy Michael is.
He's a wonderful, wonderful little boy, and he doesn't deserve this.
Both parents believe Michael was taken, but whether that is by a stranger or someone close to the family, they don't know. Police say there is a high probability of abduction, but say there are no absolutes when it comes to this case.
So when I say everything's on the table, it's still on the table.
Law enforcement continue to look into both strangers and those close to Michael as persons of interest.
But I will tell you there are multiple.
But a year later, there are still no suspects. Fruitland police have also confirmed during this investigation there are some people who have been uncooperative.
Is it echoing again, guys? Oh, no echo. Okay, carry on. Okay.
Which is confusing to Brandi and Tyler.
Why would you not cooperate? Why? You see our family, you see our children that are heartbroken. All of us are heartbroken.
Law enforcement say Michael's parents continue to cooperate fully, but have not been able to clear the two because many parts of this case are, again, not absolute.
We are working with law enforcement 100%. And I will say that they are a very, very big part of our lives continuously. And we will continue to work with them 110%. So when everything is cleared, or
when they're ready to take that step, we'll be grateful, but we know it takes time.
Brandi and Tyler both trust the work police are doing in Michael's case.
I believe they've done an amazing job, and they continue to do an amazing job.
With Michael's case capturing so much attention around the country, police told KTVB they sometimes run into speculation and random theories thrown out by the public. Because these are often not credible tips, Chief J.D. Huff says it diverts attention away from finding Michael.
Most of the theories, I think, are completely not grounded in reality for the most part.
When it comes to the lack of information released in the last year, Huff says it's because they don't want to say.
And what I will say about theories, I mean, every case where someone is missing, it just the theories come thick and fast. The video I made today on MichelleAfterDark, you know, addressing the theory that there's a connection between Michael's case and that of Summer Wells. And I've never thought so. My my opinion is no. I mean, I'm always open-minded. You know, stranger things have happened, but I think it's very, very unlikely. The two cases are really quite different. I mean, I know there is some similarities. They're both 5, blonde hair, blue eyes. You know, they've got a similar kind of complexion. Whether that matters or not, I have no idea. But that's what people have said. That's people have picked up on that. And they're both kids that appear to have wandered away. You know, only a little way from the home, but that's what they appear. And there's a possibility of abduction in both cases. The theory, though, that I think with Michael's case, the police have been able to follow one main theory, that he was abducted, because the time frame is so narrow, that he was out of Tyler's sight for only 15 minutes and he was busy on his Nintendo Switch. And then the police have verified a 20-minute window between 6:40 and 7 when Michael was missing. With Summer, very different, in that a year, 13 months later, we have no idea what the timeline even is. And that's why there's been so many theories and so many speculations with Summer's case, because there's at least 3 hours, if not longer, that Summer was missing. And the parents are not able to help with that. They just can't help with that. They don't know. You know, Don was allegedly at work. Candice and Grandma were both at home. They can't say. They don't. It's like they don't know, or they're not going to say. Very, very different. Very different situations. And the way that the parents have behaved in both cases, very different. And that has to be taken into account. But in terms of theories, some of them are just wild. Some of them really are wild, and it's not helpful. But at the same time, you know, I guess what I found really good about Fruitland Police, about the presser on, when was it, Saturday, Friday or Saturday, I can't remember, I've lost track of days now. JD Huff is so positive, and I think, I really think that the police will solve Michael's case, and they'll bring him home one way or another. I really do think they will solve it. And I thought that about Summers for a long time, but as time's gone on, and as law enforcement have been very negative, and they might be negative for good reason. They might be negative because they don't have one theory. They don't have a direction in Summers' case. Oh, I just saw a really good comment there. Lost it now. I'll get to the comments I'll get to the questions in a minute, guys. Yeah, there we go, Tina. Different attitudes of the police handling the cases too. Exactly. JD Huff is positive. You know, you can imagine that him as a leader, he's inspiring his officers to carry on. Whereas Sheriff Ronnie Lawson is just very negative. And yes, I know the TBI and the FBI are involved as well, but you know, imagine working for Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and you've got the sheriff who's so negative. You know, I don't know. I don't feel that it's a good working environment. You know, and it's looking at Fruitland Police and Hawkins County. The two situations are chalk and cheese. They're so different. So hopefully both cases will get a break, and we can get both kids home. But until then, it's raising awareness, keeping Michael's name out there, keeping Summer's name out there, keeping as many kids as we can who are missing out there. All right, I'll finish this. I'll let it run to the end now, and then I've got a Don Wells article to share, and then I'll get to questions.
Anything to compromise the case.
I wouldn't want them to release anything that jeopardize the case.
Tyler and Brandi say there are many things the police do not even tell them, which they are okay with.
I would say at the beginning of it, we were both very like, we want to know everything. And there are certain things that that happened that changed my mind really fast about wanting to know everything.
Brandi and Tyler say they continue to support law enforcement in their efforts because they're working to find the truth.
We are begging as a family, as a whole, as a community, as the world.
And will not stop until Michael is brought home.
His baby sister needs him. His big sister, his big brother, all of us, we all need him. And Monkey, we love you.
Police are still asking people to come forward with any credible tips and information, and they are still searching for the driver of the white Honda Pilot. If we can pull that up real quick. It was last seen around the area during the time of Michael's disappearance. Police believe this is a resident. They are also looking for a man, which should pop up in just a few seconds. He's a man who was seen walking around the park in Michael's neighborhood that evening. Police say neither of these people are suspects. They just would like to chat with them. For more information, check out our website, KTVB.com. And Doug, Fruitland Police continue to work with the FBI, Idaho State Police, and Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue on this case.
And Wednesday is the 1-year anniversary of the disappearance of Monkey. Is there anything planned for Wednesday to, mark that occasion or to keep awareness out there?
So if you drive around Fruitland, you often see blue lights. You often see blue ribbons around there. That's Monkey's favorite color.
Okay.
And people everywhere, just not Fruitland, not just Payette County, everywhere are asked to tie a ribbon around your mailbox, a blue ribbon, a light, something blue. Put it out in front of your front yard just to honor this search and honor the family.
I think see how hard everybody is working to get those answers. Tristan, thank you. Very, very informative story, and it's tough to see the family go through that. All right. Thanks, Tristan.
Okay. Blue for Michael on Wednesday. So if you've got a blue ribbon, tie it around your mailbox. A blue light in your window. It's Michael's favorite color. Wear something blue on Wednesday for Michael. I'll find something blue. I'm thousands of miles away, but my heart and my soul will be with Michael on Wednesday for the 1-year mark. If we can put some blue hearts in the chat for Michael, that would be brilliant. Thank you so much, everyone, for the blue hearts. Get those blue hearts flowing in the chat. So just a couple of things about the white Honda Pilot that is still in play. Wish I had a blue candle. I've got some white candles, but not blue ones. White Honda Pilot is still in play, and that picture is somebody left when I shared that the other day, somebody left a comment and said, is this going to be Bridge Guy, from the Delphi murders? Who is Bridge Guy? I hope not. I sincerely hope not. I sincerely hope that that young man comes forward. And I think it's really sad that not everybody in the community has been cooperative. It's ludicrous. It seems horrible that people wouldn't want to be as cooperative as possible. But someone must know. Someone must know that young man. Someone must be able to recognize that young man. And that Honda. If they believe it belongs to a resident, then who is it? I don't know the answer to that. Eclectic Bohemian. I don't know. It's a good question. It's a very good question. Very good question. Exactly, TV Cat. Exactly. Okay, let's move on. We can come back to Michael in the Q&A. I just want to share this article quickly with you in the Sun. Okay, so the Sun newspaper, it's a horrible newspaper. It's got a terrible reputation in the UK. I know that the Sun is available all over the world, but it's UK based, and they've been sued numerous times. They've told lies upon lies about all sorts of people. And last week when I did a live, I speculated whether the Sun has bought a story. You know, there was speculation that the Sun had bought the letters that Don's going to release, and Don's released so far. But I think it's more likely, as the letters are in the public domain, it's more likely that they've bought a story. And I think they're leading up to releasing some kind of story. It is absolutely gutter press. Yeah. Chip paper. Yeah. Do you remember the days when you used to go to the chippy and you get your chips in newspaper? You don't anymore. It's probably like against health and safety now. But anyway, let's just read this through. So it's about the behaviour panel. And as I said right at the beginning, some of you will have seen this already. I think probably some people have shown it on lives already. I just want to quickly go through it, that's all. So body language experts believe in a missing girl's dad who's been accused by the public of harming his daughter is innocent. So Don Wells has faced ceaseless backlash and branded a villain on social media after his daughter Summer mysteriously disappeared. I think Don, to be honest, I think we all know, if we've been following the case, has been his own worst enemy. You know, he might have started off on social media with the best of intentions, but he's not helped the case at all. You know, his drunken antics online just really haven't helped the case. And him going to jail obviously hasn't helped the case at all. It's kept the case in the public eye, I guess, on social media. But, you know, do we need that kind of publicity? Did Summer need that kind of publicity? You know, Summer needed parents to stick up for her, to be her advocate, and just look at the antics that Don. Anyway, the behaviour panel interviewed Mr. Wells for 2 hours before his Dr. Phil appearance in November and spoke to the Sun on Tuesday after Mr. Wells sent an open letter to his daughter's kidnappers. Mr. Wells is no choir boy, but he's also not a criminal mastermind, said Greg Hartley, a retired military interrogator and one of the 4 members of the behaviour panel. Nothing is ever 100%, but he wasn't edging his answers. He wasn't guarding anything. There was consistency with delivery in his story, even when faced with our psychological ploys, even when he was asked tough questions. There was no deviations in his story. And I would honestly say the same, that Don hasn't deviated from his story. And, you know, certainly in the earlier days of the case, there was intense scrutiny, intense focus on Don above anybody else. But I think more people I think now that, you know, that law enforcement have said, look, we've checked cell data, we've checked GPS, we've checked, you know, everything, and we're no further forward than when we started. I think more people are willing to see Don, to believe Don's innocent, you know, that he was at work all day and that he's only telling the story that Candice and Grandma have given him. Yeah, I wouldn't say Don is a good guy. You know, he's not been a good guy. You know, you know, there's the outstanding thing going on in Utah at the moment. Whether that will result in his arrest and charge, we can only speculate at the moment. But you know, he's been a bad boy. He really has. But at the same time, just because somebody's got a criminal past doesn't, and they're behaving like a drunken fool on YouTube, doesn't mean to say that they're guilty of this one thing. Of, you know, it could be the worst criminal in the world and still be innocent of this one thing. So I think Don, though, I mean, I think he does come across as consistent. And I think that's what the behaviour panel were picking up on. But could it be that he's just a really good liar? You know, we don't know. I mean, my personal view is that Don is innocent. That's my personal view. I can't exclude him completely, you know, but for me, now, after 13 months. So anyway, all 4 members of the behaviour panel agree Mr. Wells didn't hurt Summer, something that has happened only 2 or 3 times in the decades of providing insight on public interest cases. Mr. Hartley said that they asked Mr. Wells if he hurt Summer or he had anything to do with her disappearance. His answer was no, and his story was consistent. Well, he's not going to say yes, is he? Do you know what I mean? I mean, that's a bit silly. He's not going to say, yeah, oh yeah, I did it. So, exactly. Oops. Exactly. His moral compass needs some work. Yeah, there's a lot of problems with the things Don has said. But at the same time, as Jackie says here, I believe he truly loves Summer. I do as well. I think of all of that, you know, the family, however dysfunctional they appear, I think Don has been the person who really does love Summer. But we might be wrong. The behaviour panel might be wrong. But I don't know. After 13 months, we're, you know, as Detective John Pruitt said back in April, you know, they're no further forward than when they started. The TBI have said they're no further forward than when they started. There isn't a neat timeline like there is in Michael's case. There isn't a, you know, like Tyler said, I had my eyes off him for 15 minutes. And a 20-minute window of Michael was missing, went missing between 6:40 and 7 p.m. We don't have that in Summer's case. So literally every theory that law enforcement have ever worked through is still on the table. And I thought they were at first, but in November, Don was my number 1 suspect back in November. And I thought, how can they say he's a good guy? You know, how can they say he's a good guy? He's not a good guy. But again, I think however bad he's been, he's in my opinion, I don't think he hurt Summer. In my opinion. Yeah, Don Sherfy Jr. is way higher up on my list. When I did the Summer Suspect series last week, if you caught that over on Michelle After Dark, I did my top 5 suspects. Don Sherfy came in at number 2. Don Sherfy Jr. came in at number 2. But that's just me. You know, we don't know. None of us knows what law enforcement knows. But it seems that law enforcement don't know very much. So anyway, according to Greg Hartley, we look at how fast they talk, the choice of words, how smooth they deliver their answers. When faced with questions like that, it becomes a fight or flight reaction and turns off your thinking brain. You just react. Some can come in with a script, and we break that pretty quickly. Don didn't have a script. I beg to differ. I think there was a script between all 3 of them, but I think Don has been told. Don has been told that script. Never deviated from his story. There was no anomalies. Some have pointed out that he looked nervous around authorities. Yeah, of course. He's been in trouble with the law before. He's not a choir boy, and he doesn't pretend to be. But I don't think he did this. And I think that's a fair enough synopsis. So it just goes on, then I'm not going to read the rest. It goes on about a little bit about Summer, a little bit about the letter, and then a little bit about the behaviour panel. I'll leave a link to this article as well in the description box after the live, so you can read it for yourself if you haven't seen it. Okay. All right. Fire some questions at me. So anything to do with Michael Vaughan, Summer Wells, or Dylan Rounds? I've not talked about Dylan, so far in this live, but Michael and Summer are the two cases that I've followed consistently over the last year, and then Dylan, since his case has been around, I've been following that closely as well. So hopefully I'll be able to answer. If I can't answer a question, I'll just say I can't answer. I won't try to BS. I won't try to BS you. Okay, so do you really have faith in local Hawkins County? Not at all. No, I don't, I'm afraid. I think they've been at best very negative. I think, it's come out in the press that there's problems with Hawkins County, that they're short of money, and they don't pay their officers as well as neighbouring counties do because they can't. And a lot of their detectives leave. So, for higher paid jobs. So I think they struggle. But at the same time, they've been assisted by the TBI. It's a joint investigation between Hawkins County and TBI. They're both joint as, investigatory bodies. And then they've had help also from the FBI. So I'm afraid I don't have very much faith in Hawkins County. I hope they solve it. I hope that there's a break in the case, and Summer, we can find out what's happened to Summer. Thank you so much. Is Grandma Candice camper gone? Yes, I believe it is. Yes, I believe so. That's the word on the street. I heard a while ago. I mean, I know JLR released it recently, only a few days ago, but I heard a month ago that Grandma's camper had gone. Maybe it wasn't quite a month, but yeah, I believe it has gone. Oh, did he? Oh. It's a club that you don't want to be in. I lost a child as well. I lost a child at the age of 21. So it's, it's a club you really don't want to be in. You don't want to be in. We had I know what it's like to have a missing family member. My stepbrother went missing. I talked about this the other day in a video, actually. My stepbrother went missing when he was 19. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia. And he was very unstable. They were trying to kind of work out what medication worked best for him. Very, very unstable, and he ran away. The police were brilliant. They found him over 350 miles away. He doesn't know how he got there. He'd gone all the way. He'd got on a train, and he got all the way to the top of Scotland, to the north of Scotland, to a town called Inverness, and he's got no connection with it. And the police found him, picked him up, looked after him, gave him a meal, and then my mum and dad drove through the night to get him. And it was horrible. It was 2 weeks. My dad was in bits. I'd never seen my dad cry like that. It destroyed him. So whenever I see missing people, missing children, my heart goes out. And my first reaction is always believe them until you've got a reason not to, because I've been there. We got Ian back after 2 weeks. It was nearly 3 weeks, I think. We got Ian back, but most people who go missing do come home, but then you get those who unfortunately don't. And I can't think of anything worse, except for losing a child. I can't think of anything worse than losing a child or a family member and never knowing what happened to them. That must be horrendous. Horrendous. I can't imagine what that must feel like. I really can't. Thank you so much, Sarah Mee. Just for my fellow Northerner. Yay, up the north. Thank you so much. Right, I'll move back up the chat a little while. I'm not going to be able to get to every single question, but I'm just going to try and do as many as I can. Okay, I'll move up a little bit further up the chat and then work my way down. All right, let's have a look. Questions. Right, seeing that. Yeah, they can be wrong. They're not gods. They can be wrong. I'm more interested in why the Sun is suddenly interested after 13 months. I think Tim Mullen's behind it all, to be honest. Questions. 2 females in the same family goes missing. It's the odds are incalculable. But to be honest, I think they are very different. They're very different cases. Rose and Summer. Trying to pick out some questions here. So do I. I think Dylan's case will be solved. I do. So am I. But there's only a limited number of potential people in that case. You know, there's only, you know, we've heard of several of them, but there's less than like 100 residents in Montello. So, you know, it should be more straightforward. You know, you kind of think just by the numbers game, it should be more straightforward to solve Dylan's. At least find, you know, and they've got 3 people in jail already in Dylan's. Is it true that Little Monkey wasn't seen on camera on the day he went missing? I've always been under the assumption that he was seen on surveillance, like a neighbor surveillance. That's what I was under the impression of. I could be wrong. Yes, they are. Yeah. The card team were invited to be part of the investigation. I think it was like within the first week, it's like 3 days, 4 days, the card team were involved, but they're not the lead investigator. It's joint between the TBI and Hawkins County. Do you think LE are close to solving the case, but just aren't telling us? Or do you think Ronnie Lawson is deliberately hindering the case? Are they corrupt? Excuse me. I don't think they're close to solving it. I don't. If you'd asked me that 2 or 3 months ago, I'd have said, yes, I think there's, you know, they know a lot that we don't know. But the lead investigator from Hawkins County has come and said, we don't know anything. The TBI on the 15th of June said we don't know anything. I think if they had significant leads, I think they'd say so. I really do think they'd say so. And I think we'd see a more positive press conference. I think we'd see, certainly from the TBI, not necessarily from Hawkins County, because I think Sheriff Lawson is just negative, full stop. But I think we'd have seen something more positive, more akin to how J.D. Huff spoke about Michael's case the other day. So, yeah, there will be things they can't tell us. Those are always things that they can't tell the public. That's the case in any case. You know, when my son was killed, it wasn't murder. It was traffic related, but he was driving illegally. There was a whole array of illegal things that he was doing. But there were certain things that they couldn't tell us that we only found out at the sentencing hearing, like 12 months later, because they can't tell you. You know, it's not because they think you're a suspect. They can't tell you because it would interfere with the integrity of the investigation. You know, it could potentially make the investigation, you know, unsentenceable. It can break a case. It can lead to an offender going free. So they just can't. So there will be things they can't tell us. you know, they might have a suspect list. They might have people that they're really looking into that they're not going to tell us. But I think if they were very close, I think they would be a little bit more positive. Do I think Ronnie Rawson is deliberately hindering the case? Are they corrupt? I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. You know, even if Hawkins County were corrupt, the TBI, I don't think are corrupt. I don't think the TBI could be swayed in its corruption. So I don't know, honestly. I sway back and forth. I don't know whether it's just Ronnie Lawson's negative attitude that's the problem, to be honest. Tell us why DW uses God in his conversations. We want people to think he's as pure as snow. I think he uses phrases that he's heard from the Bible to make himself sound like a religious man, and he wants to. I don't think it's just that he wants other people to believe that he's a religious man. I think he truly wants to believe that he's a religious man, but he's just very weak. So he's swayed off that good path. I think, you know, a lot of people who've been to prison, they find religion to repent. And I think that's what Don does. He finds religion to repent. And he's flawed, and we're all flawed, you know, so. Okay. If you're watching Anna's Angels, White Truck and Aaron Mull, police audio I've never heard before on June 15th. Can you prove DW is at home and his white work truck this afternoon on 6:15? I don't know what that means. I haven't seen either of those, but I'll check them out. Let me just pick up a super chat. I'm going to move a little bit further down there. Thank you so much, Miss Enigma, for the Australian dollars, $10.99. Thank you so much. All right, if I've missed your question, I will. I'll try and answer as many as possible. Just put your question in again. As I just said, I don't know. I don't know. I hope they're not, but I think the TBI. I think the TBI are. I think the TBI are reputable. It's part of the uppers. Oh dear, who are the uppers? Candace is funny. I don't know, to be honest. I don't even know whether he's a religious person or not. I don't know, to be honest. Yeah, I've made loads of videos about Jodie Sue recently. Loads of them. Go check my videos over on MichelleAfterDark. Start on the 9th of May and work forward. So I've made loads of videos and talked about her son being on their property. Yes, it is. Oh, why do I think? Sorry. Why do I think it's now a criminal case? Because the police suspect that it's a homicide, is the simple question. That, you know, instead of treating it as a missing persons case, which can be, you know, Dylan's an adult. He's only a young man, but he's an adult. You know, he could have walked away. But I think there's too many suspicious things for this now to be a missing person. You know, after 2 months, you know, so they know it's a homicide, or they strongly suspect it's a homicide. So that's why. It's once the FBI got involved. The FBI Box Elder County weren't coping very well, I think, with the investigation. But once the FBI got involved, I think things really started to happen in terms of, the investigation. Camp has gone 2 months ago. It may have done. It may have done. I like I said before, I heard a month ago that it had gone. That Grandma wasn't coming back. That she wasn't coming back. That she'd taken everything. I think that's exactly what I heard. That she'd taken everything and she wasn't coming back. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. It took Grandma 5 weeks to leave. So where was Summer's body for 5 weeks? I don't believe that. I'm afraid it's not a theory that I hold any weight to. Hey, Liplock No More's in the house. You've not missed it. You've not missed it. I'll be live for a while yet. Get through a few more questions. I've been live a lot this week because my son's not been here, so I've not been fighting him. Why do you think Rosemary had a court date for 2015? She went missing in 2009. Was arrested for disorderly conduct. Court date 2015. Was that not just when an entry was updated? I'll have to check that out. I've got Rosie's. I've got all the stuff from Rosie's case. I'll check it out. It's probably just something that was updated, I'd imagine. Because Wisconsin, they're very good. Their court system is very thorough. Hit that like button, says Miss Leah. Yeah, hit that like button. Questions. Give me some more questions. Well, they have. Because they had to request the card team. The card team was requested within the first week. And they've had a lot of search agencies there. They've had hundreds of different organizations, so they have had outside help. I think he's not helped his public appearance. I think he's out of his depth, to be fair. I think he is somewhat out of his depth. He's kind of like an old school sheriff. So he hates social media. He hates, he hates the outside world. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I concur. Yeah, True Crime Utah, Glorindellen, putting in the work. Subscribe to True Crime Utah, Glorindellen. She's putting in the work. She's going to like the court appearances and things of the Jim, Chase. She's putting in the work. So go and check her out. There was a great interview. She caught the interview with the press, Candice Cooley, Dylan's mother. I put it on my channel because it was just really good. And I had her permission. But go and check out her channel. Go and subscribe. Yeah, I mean, yeah. To be fair, we'll have more after court Wednesday afternoon. So is Chase Venstre back in court on Wednesday? Is that Chase? Because he keeps having his arraignment like moved, doesn't he? The reason why I don't feel the parents are involved in Michael's case is because of the tight timeline, and because the police can confirm that tight timeline. That's the reason why I don't believe that the parents are involved. Brandi was at work. She has a rock solid alibi. She was at work, and Tyler knows where he was. And there's 20 minutes, and they, you know, the 911 call was made only 20 minutes after Tyler was there at the splash pad, seen on CCTV at the splash pad, seen by numerous people out and about looking for Michael, and then they call 911. So if Tyler had murdered Michael, how quickly could that have taken place and him hide the body? You know, it just seems incredibly, incredibly unlikely. That's why. Is this for summer? I'm assuming this is for summer. Do you think it could have been an accident, but a body had evidence of SA? Yeah, I mean, that's... It's possible. Possible. I've never... I mean, the accident theories, I mean, there's many of them. There's many different, you know, some are this happened, that happened, this other happened. It's never been my number one theory, ever. But I can't discount it either. So, I can't discount it. I will. I'll check those out later. Police audio I've never heard before. 6:15. Harsh reality. App. Jose and Summer in Alaska after she goes missing. Oh, I've seen that one. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. To be honest. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. Okay, I'm way behind in the chat. Oops, Mr. Super Chat there. Thank you so much. You don't know me. Love the pop-up lives. Hey, I gave people 45 minutes notice. Will I adopt you all? Yeah, I can adopt you all. Yeah, that's fine, Aaron. I'll adopt you all. You'll want to go back home after 2 days. Oh dear. Right, I'm gonna flick down the chat. If I've missed your question, I really apologize. I find that incredibly unlikely. Incredibly unlikely, because cremation is a very strongly, carefully regulated industry. I mean, for obvious reasons. So you can't just, even if you work at a cremation place in a mortuary, you can't just take a body and pop it in the furnace. You can't. I don't know what they're called, the cremation thing. It's highly regulated. Someone would not have noticed, to be honest. You know, it's not like the old days, you know, the grave snatching, and, you know, you could just take a grave, you could take a body out of a coffin and no one would notice. It's not like that these days. So no, I don't believe that she was cremated. I really don't believe she was cremated. Can't find her channel link. Okay, let's have a look. True. Utah. Here we go. Popping it in chat now. There you go. To grab that link. Can I pin it? No, can't pin it. But I can put it on there. Thank you for the $8.99, whoever that was. Let me just go back. Thank you so much for the $8.99 super sticker, and it's in my currency as well for the pounds. Praise St. Michael, absolutely. Has there been any updates on little Lena? Yeah, no, there hasn't. The last I heard, the family was getting quite negative backlash. I think, you know, some of that is kind of racism related. But no, not that I know of. I check regularly for updates on Lena. And I also check regularly for updates on Cody as well, Cody Bigsby. I know little Frank was found in the river. I know. Bless him. I'll put that back up just for a minute or two. It didn't take her that long, to be honest, to speak publicly. Candice, she spoke for the first time on camera on the 28th of June. So 13 days after Summer disappeared. So, you know, I don't think that's especially a long time, to be honest. You know, everybody's different. You know, some people want to go in front of the cameras straight away, and others just can't. You know, they just can't. So no, that's not. I don't think that surprises me, really, to be honest. I'll mod you, Miss Leah, just a sec. I'll have to go into YouTube. And then I'll have to find you. It's actually easier to look at chat on YouTube, but you can't go back as far. Can't find you, Miss Leah. Oh, there we go. Got you. Add mod. There you go. You're a mod. I do have a few mods on this channel, but it's always better to have more. Thank you so much. Love your discussion and information. Thank you. Just me. J8 or B. I need my glasses on. Why do I do this to myself every single time? Every single time. I found another super chat while I was looking for Miss Leah. No, I've seen that one. If I've missed your super chat, I do apologise. You see, this is why I need to do more lives, because then I can get better. I can get better at reading quickly. Oh, maybe not. Maybe there aren't any more. Seen that one. Okay. No, I'm fine. I'm done. Okay. Put two bodies together in a real cremation. You have to be very sneaky to do that. You have to be really sneaky. I don't think so. I really don't. That's just my opinion. I find it very, very hard to believe. What are my thoughts on Ellie's favoured theory? What case, Jackie? Which case? Let me know what case. The shed told the answer. Is that for Summer's case? Because we've got a shed in Dylan's case as well. We've got the grain shed. Lip Lock No More. Yep, subscribe to Lip Lock No More. Top theories for Summer. Oof. I sway between she wandered away and was abducted. I don't think she wandered away and just got lost. I think she would have been found. I don't believe she wandered away and got attacked by a bear. I think she would have been found. But I think there's a high possibility, given the amount of SOs in that area, given the amount of dodgy characters that are known to 110 Ben Hill Road, I think there's a whole array of people who could have done something bad to Summer, whether that's a neighbour or somebody in the area or somebody who's been on 110, you know, for partying or whatever, and knew Summer. I think it's someone who knew Summer who took their opportunity. I don't think it's a stranger. I think it's someone who knew Summer. That's my number one and has been for a while. Quickly followed by trafficking, whatever that might mean. Accident would be my number three, but it's a long way behind the other two because I can't make it make sense in my head, to be honest. I can't make it make sense. But then again, nothing makes sense. You see, the thing is, I don't wear glasses all the time. So I don't need them all the time, you know, but I need them for reading off a screen, and I just never remember. I don't even know where they are. I've got two pairs. I think I can locate one pair. I've no idea where the second pair is, though. No, to be honest. No, it doesn't. I mean, it's horrible. The content's horrible, you know, but I feel I've always had an interest in crime and crime stories. And I'm trained as a psychologist, so you know, some of the things I did at work were, you know, just as bad as looking at missing child cases. So I enjoy it, even though the thing that I'm researching is horrible. But I feel like there's a usefulness to it. You know, even if it's just publicizing them, talking about them, keeping their names out there, keeping their faces out there, I think there's a usefulness to it. It's a good question, though. It's a good question. Oh, thank you, Cindy. That's very kind. Do I think Jimby may have acted along Dylan Rounds? No. No, I made this point in a video the other day that Jim's my number one suspect now. You know, I looked at Kurt and the Wadsworth family very closely. Jim's my number one. I think Jim became my number one like a day or two before he was arrested. But I don't think he acted alone. No, I think there's other people who know what happened to Dylan. I might be wrong. Might not even be Jim. Oh, thank you. Has anybody else seen this Coops for us before? I have no idea what that means, Melina, so I don't know. The sheds in both cases hold the key. I think the shed in Dylan's case, definitely. I think there's definitely. In Summer's case, I don't know. I used to think so. Do I think that Don Sr. might have took Summer on the road because Don Jr. might have got Summer and his dad took her to cover it up? No. by Don Senior, do we mean Summer's grandpa? Like Don Wells' dad? Do we mean that, Don Senior? If so, he's got Alzheimer's. He's got dementia. So, no. But if you mean Don Senior as in Don Wells, Summer's dad, and then Don Junior being Summer's brother, might have got Summer. No, because Don Junior wasn't in Tennessee when Summer disappeared. So, no, I don't believe that at all. No, I don't believe Robin Lane's got a... I don't think Robin's anything to do with it, to be honest. Don Sherfy or another neighbour is, yeah, up there. Andy, I don't know. I don't know. There's dubious things about Andy. Some dubious things. But there's other people who are more dubious. But Don Sherfy, yeah, definitely. Until somebody can tell me he's got an alibi or an ankle monitor, because we don't believe he has got an ankle monitor. But until he can be, you know, alibied out, then he'll continue to be on my list. What is my idea on the cemetery that's secluded near the wells? Heard it was not checked. Do you mean the Morrison Cemetery just across from the wells? Because that was checked. That was within the search radius. So that would have definitely have been checked. And if there's a grave that's been disturbed, then law enforcement are going to be all over that, aren't they? So unless you're talking about another cemetery, then no, I don't believe so. Got a super chat there. Thank you so much, Sandra Diaz, coming in with the €20. Thank you so much. Do you think what do you think of Geordie Sue with your training as a psychologist? I don't think you need to be a psychologist to know that there's something not quite right about Geordie Sue. and I say that with all the respect that I can muster. I don't say that in a nasty way. That Geordie Sue is, she's got a venom. She's got a vindictiveness to her, and I wonder what the reason for that is. You know, has she always been that way? Is that just her? Is that her personality, or has she been made that way? And if so, how and why? Those would be my questions. And that would be, as a psychologist, looking, you know, putting a psychologist's head on, I would want to know, I would want to work through that anger that she's got. I'd want to work through that and look at the reasons why she's so angry. And I'd like her, you know, there's only her that can do that work. But I'd like her to really dig deep into her own psyche and ask herself, why is she so angry about everything? There's a reason for that. Yeah. That's exactly why I would think Jim would need help to get rid of a body. He doesn't look the fittest guy in the world. Oh, thank you, TT. Oh, thank you. I'm curious to know what this is about, but Coops. Okay, who's Coops? Is Coops a problem? I know I've been... Oh, there we go. Coops, what are you doing, Coops? Do I need to put you in a timeout, Coops? Are you being a naughty? Too many Dons and Candaces there is. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought that after 13 months of Summer Wells, with there being like 3 Candaces, how many Dons? Like Don Wells, Don Jr., Don Senior. Then we've got Blue Roof Don, Don Sherfy Jr., Don Sherfy Senior. 6 Dons. I'm just counting them on my fingers. 6 Dons. There's probably more Dons as well. Just must be a common name in Eastern Tennessee. Mind you, Don's not from Tennessee, is he? Anyway. Yeah. And then we have Don H from Dylan's case. And then we've got Candice Cooley. Spelt differently though, isn't it? Yeah. Unfortunately. I believe so, unfortunately. Yeah, I'd concur there. Yeah, more than one though in Dylan's case. Summer's case, I think there's a lot of people that know. More people know than what we know. And then Michael, I think there's only the offender knows. Yeah, I'd agree with that. So you'd mean that they meant Don Sherfy truck driver. So Don Sherfy Senior is a truck driver. And his alibi, supposedly, was that he was out of state on June 15th. So if he's out of state on June 15th, how would he know where his son was? And why would he know where his son was? Because his son was 28. So why would he want to know where his son was, you know? Frank Light was the very first person I looked at in Summer's case. The first thing I did when I started to, I watched all the presses and I started to dig a little bit. Before I'd ever made any videos on Summer, I started to dig a little bit, looked at the map, got a feel for the area, and then looked at the local SOs. And lo and behold, in the very next holler was Frank Light. So he's been on my radar since week 1. So, and he's still on my radar, still there. Okay, let's do another 10 minutes and then I'm going to call it a day, call it a night. Don Jr. is Don Wells' son. Okay. If sheds could talk. I've got a shed. If my shed could talk, it would say, "Are you going to come and tidy me soon? I'm a mess. Come and tidy me." That's what my shed would say. She's troubled. She is. She is. She acts that way. She does. It looks like she's just very, very angry, and I need to know why. According to her family, she's always been like that. Okay. Oh dear. Well, I'm just glad I'm 4,000 miles away then, because I wouldn't want to be associated with her. And I used to believe her. I used to think, well, she got problems, but I believe her. And I don't now. I just don't. I just can't. I just changed just like that. May the 9th, I can even put a date on it, where I started to look at her in a completely different way. And some of the things that I'd let go, some of the things that I'd ignored, purposefully, I looked at again and I thought, oh my God, this is a problem. And And that's why I ended up making video after video after video about Geordie Sue. I've calmed down a little bit now, not made one about Geordie Sue for a while. Like Sleuth Dog would say, Geordie Sue, practice some breathing. Sleuth Dog would definitely say that. Yeah. Yeah. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Dear me. Don Harley. I think it's Haitley. Don Haitley, I think. Might be Harley. I think it's Haitley though. Okay. Right, I'm gonna do 2 more questions. If I can find 2 good ones, I'll do 2 more. Where do you think Candice has been? She's in Tennessee. She's in Tennessee. I honestly don't really care where she is. As long as law enforcement know where she is, then I'm happy with that. You know, if I thought law enforcement didn't know where she was, then I'd be very concerned. But apparently she's in Tennessee, and that's fine by me. Yeah, that too. That too. Got a few bikes. I think there's only 2 bikes in the shed now. Oh, good, good, good. Mod is taking care of chats. Thank you, Miss Leah, and anybody else who's modding for me tonight. I think there's only Miss Leah in the chat, actually. I've not seen any of the others, but I've got a few mods on this channel because this channel's 4 years old, actually. I started this as a chatting to myself, like throughout my day. I was doing like little vlogs to myself. That's how it started. And I had about 30 subs for the longest time. And it took me, I don't know how long it took me to get to 100 subs, but I thought I kind of made it. I'd made it in the YouTube world because I had 100 subs. It took me a year to get monetized. Over a year to get monetized on this channel, to get the 1,000 subs. I got the 4,000 watch time hours easily, but to get 1,000 subs, you know, it was creeping up like 1 a day for the longest time. And then I'd lose a few, and I was like, oh no, every sub mattered. Not that every sub doesn't matter now, because everybody who subscribes to all of my channels, you know, thank you so much for the support. But yeah, it was hard. It was hard. That is a horrible story, Patty. That is a horrible story. I know that came from his ex-wife, didn't it? That story. Yeah. I hope that's not true. I really hope that is not true. Yeah. Does it surprise you? There's 104 acres for sale, isn't there? On Ben Hill Road. If I could afford it, I'd buy it. If I had the money, I would buy it just to wind Geordie Sue up for no other reason than to wind Geordie Sue up, because, you know, she doesn't like out of staters or out of towners. Well, how does she feel about somebody in an entirely different country buying 104 acres on the land that she thinks she owns, even though she's never owned any land? Could start a GoFundMe. I'm joking. Before someone clips that and says Michelle's trying to raise money to buy Ben Hill Road, I'm joking. If I had the money, though, seriously, I would buy it. If I was a millionaire, if I could just throw money away, I'd buy it. And then I'd let people just go and play on it and camp on it and do what they want on it, just to wind Geordie Sue up. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Donna. You're very kind. Don B's seen her twice. Yes, he has. He's got, there's a video on his channel. I played it on a live, just a little segment of it. I played it on a live recently. Subscribe to Scott H. Yeah, Scott's great. Scott's helped me a lot in understanding East Tennessee, understanding kind of that location. Scott's helped a lot. What does 1/6 have? I don't know. Don't know what that means. I do not know what that means. I don't believe he did. No, I don't believe he did. I've never heard anyone saying he did. Not anyone in the local area anyway. You know, anybody who would actually know that he was there. When will I do another live? I don't know. When I have a reason to, I guess. I mean, I've been alive a few times this week because my son's been away. So I've been able to have the internet all to myself. But usually I only tend to do lives if there's some, like, I don't know, breaking news, like a press conference in one of the cases that I'm following, or, you know, something happens and it's just, you know, I want to just talk to people live about it. That's when I tend to do lives. I don't tend to just do lives, just kind of chat and answer questions like I did tonight. I don't tend to do that. But I've really enjoyed it. I should do it more often. I really do enjoy it when I'm here. You learn in the YouTube streets. Oh, they're a bad place. They're a hard place, the YouTube streets. Yeah, I mean, he's married, isn't he, with a couple of kids himself, Don Jr., like Don Wells' eldest son, I heard. I don't think he's, you know, gonna kidnap his sister just by for the sake of it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have I subbed to Gavel Geek's channel? She's doing wonderful coverage of the Alex Murdoch case. Is she now? Do you know what? I don't know if I'm subscribed to her. Let me just look. I watch her a lot, Jenny. I watch her a lot. I like her a lot. When she's on Kramer Mama. No, I'm not. There we go. Jenny's got a sub now. Jenny's got a new sub. Thank you for reminding me. It's I sub to people. Do you know what? Do you find this? Do you find that you get unsubbed from channels? You know, just like randomly unsubbed from channels. Is it just me? Because I find that, you know, I think I'm subscribed to a channel and then I'm not. And I think, why is that person not posted for a while? You know, and then I go and look at the channel and they've got about 10 videos that I've missed. It's weird. YouTube's horrible at times. Theo, give it to Scott H. Yeah, if it was a millionaire, that's exactly what I'd do. Buy it and then let people live on it that Jodie Sue hates. That would really wind her up. It would really wind her up. I got a super chat. Let me just... Hey, thank you. Thank you, Janet, for the $10 super sticker. Thank you so much. Anyone knows what happened to Cold Case with Colette? Don't know. No, I think I'm sub to her channel and I've not seen her around for a while. Cold Cases with Colette. She's British, isn't she? No, she hasn't posted for 2 months. 2 months. Huh, I wonder why. I don't know. I do not know. It's a good question. I suppose she should be taking a break, I guess. Some people need to. You know, real life. I've been on yeah. It's weird. It really is weird. It really is weird. What? Yeah, it is. YouTube gremlins. I need to sort it out. And to be honest, I hadn't missed her. I do watch her. I do watch her. But it's yeah, it's interesting. Do I think it's fair that the Wells kids can't be questioned, but H was online? No, because H wanted to do that interview. So he put himself out there. Now, I know he's a minor and he probably didn't understand that he was going to get like scrutinized like by the entire world. But his mother gave him permission. I personally, if I had a 15-year-old kid in that position, I would not have given that kid permission to be interviewed by a YouTuber, whether they're an ex-cop or not. I would not have given my permission, and I would have taught them completely out of it. So, but that happened, and he put himself out there. So people have the right to talk about it because it's content. Whereas the Wells boys have never spoken out. So I think it would be completely unfair. I mean, they're a lot younger. I mean, I know the eldest one is only, 3 years younger than H, but 3 years matters a lot, in kids. So they're younger than H, and they're in a very, very vulnerable position. So I don't think people should talk about them at all. I don't think we should be speculating about whether they had a role in Summer's disappearance. It's not a route I go down. But to be fair, I've never gone down that route either with H. I've never thought H was involved in Summer's disappearance. If I did, I would have been very careful about the way that I've talked about it. And it probably wouldn't have been something that I talked about a lot for very long because I wouldn't feel right about it. Okay. Thank you so much, Lean on Me. Pay someone to play Godzilla loudspeaker. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah. we could have some wild parties. Wild parties. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know even if he was a member of Summer's church. I mean, it's been said that he was a photographer or a videographer at the church, which I can believe. So if he had been a videographer, then yeah, he would have known Summer. But I don't know. And until anybody can find out, and prove it, then I'll just continue not to know. I think he's just, if you want my opinion on Tim Mullen, I think he's one of these people who's inserted themselves in the case because they think there's money in it or prestige in it. He wants to be the one to lead Don Wells to Hollywood again and a movie deal. And, you can just, that's what I think Tim Mullen's trying to do. I think he's trying to control Don so he can control the case. I don't think it's because he's a suspect. I think that's the reason why he's done it. Why he's weird and strange and anything about the flute player. I don't think David Dotson's got anything to do with the disappearance. I don't think he has. He didn't suddenly vanish. He left the SDA church and went back to his previous church, and he got married. So his life changed. You know, his life circumstances changed. And he probably wanted to distance himself from social media when he realized what a horrible place it is. You know, he came and spoke to Unmasked, did that interview with Unmasked, and then, you know, he was just hounded. You know, everybody who's spoken out in this case has been hounded and called a suspect. So it doesn't actually surprise me. Hi, Dollyvision. Nice of you to join us. It doesn't surprise me that he went off the radar. You know, life circumstances changed and he wanted to distance himself from social media. No, I didn't get a strike from Tiffany because she said I didn't credit her content. No, she didn't strike me. I only knew about that because someone in my Facebook group let me know. I did credit her. That's the thing. I put a credit on the screen that said this was from Benny Key's channel, and it was a discussion with Jodie Sue and Tiffany Marie. I took the clip from Benny's channel because it had some discussion on it that I wanted to include. But in the description box, I always put links to all of my sources. I don't know why, for whatever reason, it hadn't saved, because I have like a standard thing, a standard description that YouTube has like this template that you can put, and you can set it so that it puts the same description, so it does it automatically. And then if I want to add links or anything else to the description, then I've got to do it manually. And I thought I'd done it, but for whatever reason, it didn't save. So once I realized that Tiffany Marie was complaining, I went back to that video and thought, oh, none of my links are saved. Like, so there were several links. There was a lot of links actually that hadn't saved. So yeah, she's right to complain that I didn't credit her, but I did. I'd credited her in the video, and now all the links to all of the sources are in the description box. But no, she didn't strike me. No, she didn't strike me. Subscribe to television. Do that, yeah. Okay. He was. Yeah, he was. And quite rightly, Brandi Neal did not want anything to do with him. So, yeah. One more question, one last question, and then I'm going. That's exactly right. Yeah, he was. He was off work. He was unemployed because of, I don't know whether it was because of his wife, but he had health problems. So he was off work. He wasn't working as a mortician when Summer disappeared. This is the thing. He wasn't working. His first wife had died. He joined the SDA church, and then he went back to his old life after. The SDA church wasn't for him, so he moved back to his old church. I believe it was a Baptist church, and he got married. He found love again. So his life changed. There's nothing strange about Flute Guy, in my opinion. In my opinion. Just heard what True said on Crime Stories Obsessed. It's horrifying. It's I'm assuming you're talking about the accusation that Summer overdosed at 3 years old. That one. I made a video about that the other day. The reason why I'm struggling to believe that story is because why has that not come out before? Why have they waited 13 months to tell that story? Why? because Ali's spoken out numerous times. Ali's been on Unmasked, Chris McDonough, Heels on the Ground, people interviewed her. So did she not think to talk about that story? True has also spoken to Penny, she was True Crime Commentary then. So why have these people waited 13 months to tell that story? So although it's horrifying and it's believable, if that had come out from the beginning, then I would have believed it. I would have believed it because it's believable. However, I don't believe it because it just appears that they're tagging on to a story, you know, that Jodie Sue started, that Andy sold drugs to the children at 110 and Andy sold drugs to Candice that were used to sedate the girls. And then suddenly, you know, from Ali's camp, they come out with this, and Summer overdosed when she was 3. It just seems a bit odd to me that was never mentioned before. Call me suspicious. Call me suspicious. I heard that too, Connie. I don't think I've looked into it. I did hear it though. I don't know if it's true because I've not looked into it. Oh, that's another thing. Yeah, don't get notified. Yeah, I've got notifications on for, I think, just about every channel that I subscribe to, and I never get notified. I always do it the long way and look, you know, if there's a channel that I think, you know, I've not heard from them for a bit, I'll go and look at their channel. But I rely on YouTube suggesting me things, and it suggests me things that quite often are people that I don't subscribe to. So yeah, notifications on YouTube's just broken. According to Zav, I assume you mean Zav Girl, Dylan's phone has been found. Has it? Has it really? I didn't know it had been found. I don't know if it's been found or not, but I know the phone pinged, that they know within a decent amount of accuracy where the phone pinged. But so I suppose if they know where the phone pinged, then they could go and find it. Did they just find Dylan's phone? Is Sav live? If Sav's live, then she's someone else that I'm subscribed to and I don't get notified from. They found Dylan Round's phone. Last time Dylan stayed at Kurt's Wadsworth. Is Jim Brenner culpable? Let me just share this. I'm not going to play the video because she's literally just released it and I don't want to take away from her views. But here, 6 minutes ago, they found Dylan's phone, ? So I don't know. And I don't think it's fair. Like if a video's been out for a day or 2 days or 3 days, then I don't mind playing a segment from it. But if it's just come out, then I want her to get the views. Do you know what I mean? So that'll be the first video that I go and watch after this live stream. Which is going to be very soon. Because I'm going to go now. David Dotson was a paramedic. Yeah, I think he was. So are we talking about David Dotson still? Hit the like button. Yep. Get those last few likes in. Get those last few likes in. Okay. Oh. Thank you. Keep it real. All right, guys. I'm going to call it a day. Thank you so much. Kimberly Headland for the £4.49 in my own currency. I know. I'm sad for everybody. So for everybody who's missing. Horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Thank you so much, Breathless, for the $5. Thank you so much. Thank you, Scott, for the $10. Thank you again, Michelle Watts. And if I do ever get the money to go and buy 104 acres on Ben Hill Road, Scott, what I would like you to do is go there and use my land whenever you like. Do whatever you like on it just to wind up Jodie Sue Brown. Oh, that's so childish. It's not going to happen, guys. I'm not rich. I don't have any spare money. I'm not rich at all. So, dear. I think we're talking about Dylan's phone now. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go and find out whether they found Dylan's phone or whether it's just speculation. So, I'll see you very soon. I'll see you in the usual video tomorrow over on Michelle After Dark. Yeah. And I'll be live at some point soon. All right, guys. Love to the dogs. Oh, before I go, I got a big package a while ago now from someone called Kim. And every time I've been live, I forgot to mention it and say, thank you so much, Kim. A big pile of treats and cat treats as well arrived. It's at least 2 weeks ago now, and I've just kept forgetting to say anything. So thank you so much, Kim, for the big package. I think they've eaten them all. The cats haven't. But the dogs have eaten them all. But yeah. Have a great night, everybody, or the rest of your day. And I'll speak to you very soon. Bye, guys. Thanks, Miss Leah, for modding as well. See you soon, guys. Bye.